Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, let's get on with it then. Premier League Game Week 16. Watch me predict every single correct score right. Alright, let's go. Brentford versus Watford. Yeah, what better way to kick off a jam-packed Premier League weekend to get it up and running than the salivating prospect of Brentford versus Watford. Christ above, it sounds about as exciting as playing Connect 4 with your grand. I mean, this is the equivalent of turning up to a rock concert and having to spend the first hour watching Ronan Keating warm up the crowd. Just no. Honestly, how many people packed into pubs on Friday night are going to be actively staring at the telly for this match? No. Suddenly you'll find a lot more people a bit more fascinated with what's written on their beer glass coaster. No, just whose idea was it to stick this on Friday night? When people rush home from work to find this on their telly, oh, they'll probably be so deflated they won't even put up a fight against the wife when she wants to watch The Grinch, which again is a movie that honestly makes me want to set fire to my face. It's been a season of two halves for Brentford, 12 points from the first 7 games, and then 5 points from the next 8. I mean, last week at Ellen Road, most Brentford fans were probably cursing the existence of Patrick Bamford. Yeah, welcome to my world, lads. As for Watford, they have battled hard in games, but I'm sorry, if you just forget that fluke 4-1 win over Man United, then they've just lost their last 5 games. This team are getting relegated, but I'm gonna go for a dour, dull as dishwater 0-0 draw. Of course, Ivan Toney's off sick, so without him, Brentford without Tony, a bit like The Sopranos without Tony. Just 90 minutes of sheer boredom. Honestly, 0-0. Go on, you're better off watching The Grinch, even though Jim Carrey gives me violent earache. Man City versus Wolves. Listen, I know Wolves had a purple patch against Man City, where they beat them twice inside 3 months at the back end of 2019, but I think order was restored last season when City stuffed 7 goals past them. I don't think they're much of a bogey team anymore. Listen, Wolves' defense is an utter monster of a unit right now. They've conceded just 1 goal in the last 4 Premier League matches, and even that was just a 94th minute scruffy Divock Origi goal. Lads, Wolverhampton Wanderers are about 15 seconds away from keeping 4 clean sheets in a row, going a month without conceding a damn goal. I mean, what's Connor Cody been drinking this season? Pint after pint of horse steroids? Honestly, I assume swapping the most capped Portuguese goalie in football for a nearly 30-year-old man yet to win a senior cap. I thought that decision was utter doggy pie. Rui Patricio has 102 caps more than this guy, and yet Jose Sa, he's been brilliant. Bruno Lage, yes, he looks like a sexually frustrated science teacher, but Christ up, this former Sheffield Wednesday assistant coach is doing a damn good job. But that is enough, okay? City are still getting the win here. It'll be scrappy, it'll be tight, and it'll be 0-0 at half time. But I don't know, I have a feeling that Raheem Sterling is going to score the only goal of the game with about 10 minutes left to save the day. 1-0 Man City win. I mean, one thing I think we can all agree on is that this will be yet another occasion where Jack Grealish just stumbles about looking like an unshowered Russell Brand. Arsenal versus Southampton. So apparently Arsenal fans want Mikel Arteta sacked again. Good Christ, lads, make up your damn mind. A month ago, he was the next Pep Guardiola. Now he's back to being a ham and cheese toasty of a coach. To be fair, the world is always waiting for any excuse to laugh at Arsenal, which is a bit harsh. I mean, Christ above, we lost to Hibernian in a meaningless pre-season friendly, and the world reacted as if Arteta had just been found talking to teenage boys online. No, just calm down. Stop the histrionic. Listen, to be fair, they have lost the last 3 away games, but to be fair, they always used to lose at Anfield, Old Trafford and Goodison Park. And listen, good news here is that Arsenal haven't actually lost at the Emirates to a team placed lower than them in the league table since Burnley, almost exactly a year ago. But come on, stop panicking. This is Southampton here. The Arsenal children will just eat through this stale Weetabix team. Honestly, what is the point of Southampton under Ralph Hasenhüttl? They don't do anything, they just exist. They are essentially the Ralph Wiggum of the Premier League, just sitting in the corner sticking crayons up their nose. There is no ambition there to climb the league or get back into Europe. It's just purely to survive. I'm gonna go for a pretty comfy 3-0 Arsenal win. Chelsea versus Leeds. Make no mistake about it, this fixture will terrify Chelsea fans. It was almost exactly a year ago they smacked Leeds 3-1 at Stamford Bridge to sit top of the Premier League in December. Well, guess what, lads? Within a month, their domestic season had fallen apart. They were down to 8th in the league with Frank Lampard being scooted out the door. I mean, that is how quickly things can change at Stamford Bridge. And considering their sloppiness in recent weeks, chucking in pretty lifeless scrambled egg performances of Watford and West Ham, failing to win any of the last 2 home games against Burnley and Man United. Oh yeah, and gift wrapping a Champions League top spot to Juventus after conceding 3 goals in Russia. Oh, then Chelsea fans have every right to suddenly hyperventilate into a bag of hula hoops. Contrast that to Leeds, who scored priceless crucial goal in the last minute of their last 2 Premier League matches on the bounce. I mean, they'll be buoyed by that and the return of Bamford after spending 3 months nursing a thigh weaker than broccoli. Christ above it, probably even hurt him to sit on the goddamn toilet. But yeah, Leeds are in a better moment right now than a pretty chaotic Chelsea. So guess what, lads? Chelsea 0, Leeds United 1, which will be their first win at this ground since December 1999. You heard it here first. Chelsea fans are probably disgusted at that right now, right? Chucking up a chunk of phlegm at their laptop screen. But I'm sorry, you don't get to continuously defend like a bunch of elderly grandmother pigs and get offended when I predict you to trip up again. Honestly, lads, this will be a Leeds win. Thomas Tuchel will give the angriest post-match interview all season. It's gonna be blockbuster. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Oh, this is just weird. For the first time in his life, we've got Steven Gerrard entering Anfield and actively hoping that Liverpool lose. Oh no, it just feels horrible. This would be like him turning up to his nephew's Christmas play at school and then sitting in the front row to boo him. Yes, heckling a 9-year-old boy dressed as a tree. But this is like when Frank Lampard, whilst playing for Man City, scored against Chelsea and then immediately bore the expression of someone who just seen his dog decapitated by a truck. See what getting into management has turned you into, Stevie? You've gone from someone who'd rather punch himself in the face than watch Liverpool ever lose points, and now you are actively trying to trip them up in a Premier League title race. If you win at Anfield this weekend and when Liverpool wind up missing out on the title by 2 points, then can you ever live with that on your conscience? Let's not forget, Liverpool as a city haven't been able to celebrate a Premier League bus top parade in 30 goddamn years. And considering he's not yet over the slip, I'm guessing if he was the reason you lost the title this season, he would probably spend the entirety of next summer getting sick in the toilet. Listen, I know this man has professional pride and integrity, but wake up! What is Aston Villa to Stevie G? I wouldn't put it past him to sabotage the game by sticking Ashley Young up front and picking the T-Lady in goal. This is weird and I don't like it. But on the flip side, Liverpool versus Aston Villa produces goals. In the last 18 meetings, there's been 38 goals. That's just nutty. Listen, this is Gerrard's Anfield audition, right? So he's probably gonna vomit out every tactic in his book at once in a bid to impress the Liverpool hierarchy, right? But considering this man's main influences were Rafa Benitez and Brendan Rodgers, you know, managerial polar opposites, then I'm guessing his tactic notepad looks about as confusing as the diary of Anne Frank. I mean, I don't speak German, to you? I'm gonna go with a spirited Villa performance. They'll take the lead through Ollie Watkins. Gerrard will immediately cheer the goal, but with sadness in his eyes. To him, it'll feel weird, like losing your virginity to your cousin. Just a mixed bag of emotions. But don't worry, Liverpool will roar back to flatten Villa by 3-1. Norwich versus Man United. Things are already getting weird under Ralph Rangnick. Clearly the man took it a bit too literally, fighting fire with fire in the Champions League. I realise you were playing against a side called Young Boys, but did you really have to fill your team with a bunch of acne? Price above, we're at a stage where Robbie Savage's son just accidentally played Champions League football for Man United. What? I didn't even realise Robbie Savage had a son. I assumed that man was so in love with himself that he wasn't physically able to impregnate an actual woman. Nah, instead just making love to a hole in the mirror. But no, good old Charlie Savage. In a weird way, I hope he winds up one day playing for a team managed by John Terry in the future. I mean, it'll be delightfully awkward considering the future England captain clearly thinks his dad's footballing achievements could all fit inside a can of Pepsi. But imagine telling a Man United fan last month that within a few weeks they would be sitting in Old Trafford watching Zidane. They'd be so excited they could barely sleep. And turns out it's actually Zidane Iqbal, some teenage boy from Iraq. I mean, to be fair, it was great seeing the promising youth on show for Man United. I mean, let's hope they turn out to be good. I mean, I remember Josh Harrop scoring in his Premier League debut just 4 years ago, and now I think he's putting pints in with spoons. It's weird, that Manchester United team boasted a kid who was clearly named after Zinedine Zidane, and another one who was clearly named after Shola Ameobi. I mean, he's a Geordie boy with a Nigerian dad, and Ameobi scored against Leicester the same week he was born. So clearly his dad was at the match, probably popping into the RVI hospital smelling of whiskey and cheese, and then drunkenly naming his son. Thank Christ he chose Ameobi instead of the other Nigerian at the club, otherwise he'd be called Celestine Shorttire, which honestly sounds like the name of a fictional stripper created by Dr. Seuss. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Norwich. Listen, Dean Smith has breathed life back into a team who were already dead and buried. Christ above, Ben Gibson practically had flowers growing out of his mouth. It would be a good atmosphere at Carrow Road if the game doesn't get called off, but yeah. 3-0 Man United win? I mean, if this game even goes ahead, Christ above. Burnley versus West Ham. Sean Dyche will be disgusted after last weekend. Burnley had been in a decent patch of unbeaten form, and then they go to bottom of the table Newcastle and get played off the park. It wasn't good. Listen, West Ham were incredible against Chelsea last weekend, and they're flying in a great run of form, but this game looks very unappetizing. I think it'll be a tough December game at Turf Moor with dodgy conditions. Go for Burnley 0, West Ham 0. Leicester versus Newcastle. Leicester versus Newcastle is a weird fixture. The last time the Magpies visited the stadium, they scored 4, and the time before that, they conceded 5. It's just very inconsistent. Listen, I think we're looking at a shock win here. Leicester City are an utter drain pipe run of form. Low on confidence, 0 clean sheets in 14 Premier League matches, 0 clean sheets in 6 Europa League games, and you've just failed to make it out of your group. Leicester picked up 5 points for the last available 18 in the Premier League. That is hideous, it is revolting. If you're a Leicester fan, that would fill your lungs with last night's Cocoa Pops. As for Newcastle, they're finally up and running with a win. They won't be scared about this trip. Again, they won 4-2 here in May. And the last time Eddie Howe faced Rodgers, yeah, Bournemouth were coasting their way to relegation, but they still stuffed high-flying Leicester by 4-1. So you know what? This won't even be close. I'm going for Leicester 0, Newcastle United 3, with Joe Willock scoring his first goal of the season. It's going to be Newcastle's best performance of the season. Alan Saint-Maximin is going to utterly destroy the Leicester backline. Kasper Schmeichel will look on the verge of tears, and Rodgers will suddenly emerge as the bookies' favourite for the sack. Just you wait. This is happening. Crystal Palace versus Everton. You reckon Crystal Palace are looking forward to this fixture? Not in a pig's left ear canal. Because guess what, lads? Everton haven't lost at Sellers Park since October 1994. I know, that is utterly mental. Sellers Park is a tricky place to go, and yet Everton haven't lost in their last 11 trips. That's impressive. Ever since David Moyes left in 2013, Everton have mostly been an unstable clown circus, and yet they've travelled to this ground every season and consistently not lost. Similarly, Rafa Benitez hasn't lost at this ground since 2005, and Palace have lost their last 3 games. So the signs don't look good, right? After that catalogue of stats in Everton's favour, it would be irresponsible and just downright stupid of me to pick a Palace win, right? 1-0 Crystal Palace! What? Anyway, that's it. Let me know, what do you think? Alright, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.